Wisconsin Broadcasters Association Hall of Famer Bob Berry ruled Milwaukee's airwaves in the 60s and 70s. He spoke with countless musicians and celebrities over the years. Bob collected remarkable recordings of these encounters, which he's now sharing with the public. Here's Bob.
Our guest today is a founding member and the original bass guitarist of one of the most beloved bands in that era. The group gave us
Something tells me I'm into something good. Something tells me I'm into something. Mrs. Brown, you've got a lovely daughter. There's a kind of hush all over the world. Tonight I'm Henry the Eighth, I am Henry the Eighth, I am. Listen.
Karl Green was there when Herman's Hermits became international stars, charming the world with cheeky humor and unforgettable hooks and a good old-fashioned showmanship. Karl makes reference to his recent appearance at Let It Be in Waukesha, and we'll hear that audience singing along. All right, well, Karl Green, the founding member of Herman's Hermits, is on the podcast today. And we've enjoyed seeing him at Let It Be, and hopefully he's going to be back in Waukesha again. And I understand you like our area.
I love it, yeah, it's fantastic. Really good night last night. Fantastic. The people are lovely. Really nice, friendly people.
Can you tell us about your early musical influences? You know, how you got started with the Hermits?
Well, I started playing guitar because my brother was in a skiffle group. So I got a guitar at the age of 10 and I used to play on street corners in little skiffle groups and things. But the main thing was I got when I lived in Salford at the age of about just before I was 10, I think it was, we used to go and stand outside pubs, and all the American sailors from the docks across the road used to come over and go into pubs, and we'd say, "Have you got any chewing gum?" One night I said, "Have you got any records?" And the guy said, "I'll bring you one tomorrow." So I went over to the pub, and the guy brought me a 45, and it was Little Richard.
Oh,
I took it home. I'd never heard of the guy. I put it on my brother's downset record player, and I was just knocked out. Wow, that's what I want to do. I want to be a rocker.
wow! I'm glad you made that decision. How did you form? How did the group get formed? Who came up with the name?
Well, I was in various bands for a long time, and then eventually I got invited to join a band called the Heartbeats. And they didn't have a singer, so I sang for a while, and then I said, no, we need an extra guy to actually front the band. And we were playing at a youth club in Urmston where myself and Peter were living at the time. And Peter came in the place, and all the girls said, get Peter up to sing, because he'd obviously done a bit of warbling before. So we got him up on stage, and he sang a song, and he went down so well that we just immediately said, do you want to join the band? So we were called the Heartbeats at the time. He joined it, and then it was Pete Novak and the Heartbeats. And then when we were playing at a gig in North Wales, we were only 15 or something like that, 14, 15. And I was very big on cartoon shows. And do you remember the Bullwinkle show?
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Rocky and Moose and all that, yeah.
Right.
Well, there was a character on that called Dr. Peabody. He was a dog, and he had a pet boy called Sherman. And Peter, when he put the keyboard player's glasses on, big horn-rimmed glasses, he looked like Sherman out of Bullwinkle show, and I kept calling him Sherman, and people thought I was calling him Herman. So at the end of the night, we said, oh yeah, Herman, why don't we call ourselves Herman and the something? And one of the guys said, yeah, Herman and the Hermits, why not? So we became Herman and the Hermits for about a year, and then we got a record test with Mickey Most. We went down, and Mickey said the bass player and the drummer are not good enough. So we had to let them go, and we couldn't find a bass player. That's when I went from guitar to bass. And we got Leckenby and Barry Whitson, who was the drummer and the lead guitar player. And then we changed the name to Herman's Hermits, just to make sure that everyone knew that we were a different band. Yeah.
What a great story. Can you share your experiences in the studio when you recorded some of your biggest hits? What was the process like for you and the group?
Well, the first record we did was I'm Into Something Good, which was number one in England. And when we went to do the session, I had just swapped over from guitar to bass, and I hadn't had time to find a decent left-handed bass, so I had to go out and buy a cheap Echo violin bass that was similar to the Hofner, but it had a solid body and switches all over it that rattled when you played it. You couldn't hear it on stage, but when you sat in the studio, everything gets picked up by microphones and DI boxes and everything. I was in the studio and Mickey said, all right, we've got to get this guitar quiet. We only had 4 hours to do the 2 songs, the A and the B side. And it took Mickey about an hour to get the sound on my bass right. But when he did get it right, it sounded fantastic. Nice and boomy and rolling. We had gaffer tape all over it, bits of foam rubber stuck under the strings here, there and everywhere. Gaffer tape on the tuning page to stop those rattling. It was just, took such a long time. But once we got it going, and we had a guy called Roger Webb came in and played the piano on I'm Into Something Good and made it roll along, which was what we wanted. We wanted like a California surfing sound. And we actually advertised ourselves as the British surfing sound for a while.
Wow. How did you handle that sudden rise to fame that you had in the 60s?
Oh, it was difficult, but we were very lucky we went out on tour. As soon as we got the hit, we went on tour with Dusty Springfield. It was lovely. She looked after us. A band called Brian Poole and the Tremolos befriended us, and they'd been around, they'd been around the block, and they looked after us. I mean, I was 17 when we first did our first tour.
Wow.
A big tour. And I was 17 when we first came to the States, late in 1964. Peter and I are the same age. I think he's 3 months younger than me. So we were very young, and we had to have contact with the British consul everywhere we toured. We had to go down to the British consul, check in and let them know we were all right, because we were underage, and we should have had chaperones, really.
I'm sure. Yeah. Can you share a memorable interaction you've had that left a lasting impression on you?
With fans? Well, we didn't really get to meet many of them. They just sort of flashed by, and the guards were keeping us out of the way. We had police everywhere looking after us. But one time I remember when we were coming out of the Ed Sullivan show, I think, there's a big pavement by the stage door there. There's like a 12-foot of pavement before you get to the road to get in a car. And we were coming out of the stage door. A line of cops was holding these fans back, and we rushed to the car. Couldn't get the back door of the limo open. I pulled it so hard I smashed myself in my right eye, cut where the eyebrow is, got claret flowing everywhere. There's blood all over the place. Then as I was getting in the car, a girl leaned forward to try and cut some of my hair. I stuck her scissors at my left eyebrow. So I got into the limo, and there's blood everywhere, and I end up at the end of that tour. We got the bill for the limo, and I had to pay for all the cleaning the car out.
Yeah, I'm telling you, the American fans were crazy about you guys.
Oh, yeah. Well, last night when we did that gig, I couldn't believe how good the audience were. They were fantastic.
They were singing along with everything.
They were singing along, having a great time.
How about a lasting impression with another artist?
Yeah, it's the Who tour, because we got up to all kinds of mischief with Keith Moon and John Entwistle. They were a pair of nutters. Keith Moon was just like a wicked little boy. He was a naughty boy, really. That's what he was, And he never grew up. Fantastic guy. And we got up to all kinds of mischief, jumping off hotel roofs into swimming pools and doing all. On his birthday, we threw a birthday party for his 21st in Flint, Michigan, and the hotel just got wrecked. We had to pay for all the damage, but we had a good time. That's what matters, isn't it?
Yep, that's what matters. Let's say you're down to your last appearance in your career. What song would you sing?
Well, if it's going to be a Herman's Hermits song, I'd sing Kinda Hush, because I love it.
Yeah, good song.
I'd sing that all night, especially like last night. Everybody sang so loud; it was incredible.
Yes.
Everyone was like right up in front of us. We could see all their faces beautifully, and they were dancing away, singing along, having a really good time. And that's what the name of the game is. We just like to have a lot of fun. It was like a private party last night, because we knew so many people.
Yep.
Great.
It was. Well, we're looking forward to having you come back. That's for sure.
Oh, I'd love to. Yeah, in the spring sometime. I'm coming back, hopefully.
Good. Thanks, Karl. Appreciate it.
Okay, Bob. Take care.
Bob. Thank you for listening to Bob Berry's Unearthed Interviews. Be sure to subscribe and rate our podcast wherever you find your podcasts. You can find all our episodes at WisconsinBroadcastersMuseum.org. Check out Bob Berry's book, Rock and Roll Radio Milwaukee. Book sale proceeds support Donate Life Wisconsin. Special thanks to Wisconsin Historical Society and for financial support from WBA Hall of Famer Terry Bond.